Hi everyone. So welcome to this Talk with Toppers. So in this video, in this series of videos, we are discussing with different toppers from civil service exam, IFS exam. So today we have with us Vikram Nare, one of my fellow batchmates from IFS training in Dehradun. So we are going to discuss in this video his exam preparation and especially focusing on tips and tricks for the preliminary examination. Welcome Vikram.
Thank you, Rajan.
So can you give us a brief introduction about yourself, your education background?
Okay. So I am Vikram Suresh Nade. I belong to Pimpri Chinchwad from Pune district of Maharashtra. I have done my graduation in agricultural sciences. After completing my graduation, I started with my civil services exam preparation. So recently I have got selected into the Indian Forest Services, and presently I am undergoing training at Indira Gandhi National Forest Academy, Dehradun, with my fellow probationer Raja.
Okay. So coming from an agricultural engineering, agricultural education background, how this thought of giving UPSC exam came to your mind, or how this giving exam for a competitive exam, especially a toughest exam like UPSC, came to your mind?
Generally, what happens in agricultural colleges, there is an environment where almost many people are preparing for the civil services and competitive examination.
Okay.
So that environment really nurtured me and helped me towards this goal.
Okay.
And my father is also active in social services.
Okay.
So that also provided me a great motivation to work in civil services.
Okay. Okay. So right now you are in training. So what is the good thing, best thing, if you have to tell till now in your training, what is the best thing you liked about your training?
The training, Indian Forest Services training is really very enriching. I had a very great experience with it. The schedule is completely packed. It starts with PT early in the morning.
Okay.
So every aspect of your personality is shaped in this training, and we are exposed to very good experts who are working very effectively and efficiently at grassroots levels. So that is a great exposure for us, and that was a great learning. They are working in very good manner, especially for upliftment of tribal peoples, creating livelihood for them, saving the environment, managing the forest. So every aspect is taken care of, and during training our personality is shaped in very good manner. Sports is given very good attention in the Indira Gandhi National Forest Academy. So that is the good part of it.
Okay. So we will start with the preparation strategy. So how you prepared, or from preliminary part we will start. So if you could give an approach, how you approach the preliminary exam, especially IFS preliminary cutoff is higher than the civil service cutoff. So what was your strategy, and how you dealt with the preliminary preparation in detail? If you could give, it will be useful.
Yes. So starting with my strategy for preliminary examination, most important aspect which I focused during my preparation was previous year question papers. They are really a very good guide if you want to crack the civil services preliminary examination. So there are two aspects which I used to focus in previous year question papers. That was the depth of topics and width of topics. So by width I mean the number of questions that are asked on a particular topic. So there are few topics in polity. For example, in polity we have topic called parliament. So almost 30 to 35% questions in polity are based on this topic itself, parliament. So we need to focus more on this topic. There are some topics, for example, emergency or political parties. So these topics don't carry that much weightage. We can rarely see questions being asked from this topic. So we need to strategize our preparation accordingly. We should give more weightage, time, and our hard work to the topics which are more asked more. The number of questions asked that are more. So this was one aspect that I focused in width. Other aspect that I focused was depth of questions that are asked on that particular topic. So what happens, I have seen many test series where they ask questions on topic which are not focused in UPSC actual question papers. For example, in polity, they ask in test series they ask questions on any article. While when we see the previous year question papers of UPSC, there are very limited articles on which questions are asked. So we need to focus. We need to be alert regarding it. We should be clear that this is the depth to which I should study that particular topic. So these were the two aspects that I used to focus. That is width and depth. Other thing that I would like to tell is the book that I referred for the previous year question paper analysis was Wizard Strategist. I prefer this book because it has very well sorted the questions that are asked on a particular topic. So they have given topic-wise sorting of questions. So I prefer that book. So how I used to use that book was every time whenever I used to read any topic, I used to refer the questions on that particular topic. For example, if I am reading fundamental rights, if I am reading fundamental duties, they had a question sorted out for that particular topic. So I used to read that questions on that particular topic. Based on that analysis, I used to decide the width and depth of that topic. So how much importance, how much input I should give to that particular topic, I used to decide based on that analysis. After that, I used to read that topic accordingly. And after reading that topic, I used to go back to the previous year question papers. So there I used to analyze two things: whether I have grasped the whole topic in toto, and other thing that I used to see was whether the source material that I am using, whether it is sufficient to tackle all the questions that were asked in UPSC examination. So these two aspects that I used to see. So UPSC previous year question papers was most important guide and most important factor for me. The next thing that I would like to speak on is regarding the sources that I use. So the sources, I would like to tell that keep your sources very limited. Have multiple revisions of the sources that you are using. That is most important, because every time you go to shops or you go to the market to buy material, you can see the market is flooded with new materials. And every time you see that you have an observation that this one is better than the earlier, this one is better than the earlier. So you shouldn't go behind material. You should have limited material. You should have multiple revision of that limited material. That will increase your accuracy. So I would like to share my sources. For polity, I followed the book Lakshmikant. For environment, I followed the book Shankar IS. Shankar IS has complete coverage of all the questions that has been asked till now. Other than this, for current affairs related to environment, I referred Vision IS 365 material. For geography, I referred to NCERT 11th and 12th standard. Other than this, I also referred to Wizard geography for GS. Then for economics, I referred to Shriram IS notes. Other than this, for current affairs related issue, I referred to Vision IS 365 material. And other than this, I also read the budget document which is printed in the newspaper, or you can get it from the website, government websites. Other than this, for history, I focused only on modern India. For modern India, I refer to the book Spectrum. When it comes to ancient and medieval India, in medieval India, almost I have left the whole topic, I have skipped it. In medieval India, I had a list of terminologies that we can find in medieval India. For example, we have terminologies like Khalisa, Sarkar, or many other terminologies are there. Questions are mostly asked based on this terminology. So I had a list prepared of it. I used to refer only to this list in medieval India. When it comes to ancient India, I have decided few topics. For example, Indus Valley civilization, then Buddhism, Jainism. I used to stick only to these topics. Otherwise, I had also skipped ancient India. Then for art and culture, I referred Nitin Singhania book. Then I have also skipped some topics. For example, physics, chemistry, bio, the basic science subjects. I had skipped that completely. So I had focused on limited number of subjects, and that too with limited material. And I had focused more on having multiple revision of this material. So that is most important, to limit the sources. So next thing that I would like to focus on is how to tackle current affairs. When we see the weightage of current affairs is increasing with every year, and it really carries a great weightage. But the problem with current affair is it is difficult to predict on which topics the question would be asked. So what I would suggest is you focused on limited number of topics in current affairs. For example, the source that I used was Vision IS 365, and in 365 I used to read only 365 subjects, for that is environment, economics, and science and technology. Other than this, I didn't refer any subjects for current affairs. And in this also you stick to only one source. So I was reading Vision 365. You can read Vision or any other material, but stick to only one source. Don't multiply the sources, because the input to output ratio is very low when it comes to current affairs. So this is my suggestion, that focus on limited number of topics. Other than this, I also had done current affairs from IS Parliament. They provided the good compilation of schemes, and other compilation was the report and indices. So these two compilations are really helpful. So if you do these 5 things in current affairs, most of the questions in current affairs would be tackled. I would suggest that stick to only these 5 topics. Other than this, so starting with the next question that is generally asked by aspirant is how many questions to attempt in examination. So generally what I used to prefer is the number 85 plus minus 3. So this I thought was the safest number of questions that I would attempt, because if you attempt less than that, there is the risk that you would be out of the race if you are attempting less questions, because you can't guarantee that all questions that you have attempted would come out to be correct, because there is very much ambiguity when it comes to deriving the answer. So I would suggest never go below 80. Stick to 85 plus minus 3, and if you are going ahead of 90, that too would increase the risk. So I would suggest the number 85 plus minus 3. Now coming to the next question, next strategy that I would suggest is the revision. Revision is the most important part, because if you want to increase the accuracy in the preliminary examination, revision is the most important thing that you have to do. If you are a newcomer, if you are giving the attempt for the first time, I would suggest having for at least 5 reading of any subject. That would increase the retention and accuracy. And if you are in your second attempt, or you are very thorough with everything, I would suggest have at least 3 readings. So this is what I would suggest about revision. Then the other aspect that I would like to speak on is tricks. There are few tricks that we can use to solve the questions. For example, it is very difficult to crack the examination only based on knowledge. You can go up to certain limit with the knowledge that you have, but if you want to go ahead of that, you need to use some tricks. For example, there are some questions where you are 50% confident about the answer, so we can use that tricks over there. So few tricks I would like to tell. So the first trick that I would like to speak on is elimination, the approach of elimination, in which we eliminate extreme statements. For example, there was question in 2020 preliminary examination that with reference to India's desert national park, which one of the following statements are correct? So the statements given were 3. First statement said it was spread over 2 districts. The second statement said there is no human habitation inside the park. So no human habitation is an extreme, these are extreme words. So I thought of eliminating this option, this statement. So, and the options that were below said, the A option said only statement 1 and 2 are correct. B option said 2 and 3 are correct. C option said 1 and 3 are correct. D option said 1, 2, 3 are correct. So the second option which we have eliminated is there in 3 options. So we can eliminate those 3 options, and I can select the C option, that is only 1 and 3 are correct. So this is the first trick that I used. Then the second trick that second question that I would like to speak on regarding extreme statement is, it is from the UPSC preliminary examination 2017. The question asked was, which are the most likely advantages of implementing GST? The first statement was, it will replace multiple taxes collected by multiple authorities and will thus create a single market in India. So we know it is correct. The second statement said, it will drastically reduce the current account deficit of India and will enable it to increase its foreign exchange reserve. So drastically reduce. These are extreme words. So I had eliminated this statement. The third statement was, it will enormously increase the growth and size of economy of India and will enable it to overtake China in near future. so enormously increased. These were extreme words, so I had eliminated this option, this statement also. And the options that UPSC gave had the statement 2 and 3 in 3 options. So I had selected A option, which said 1 only is correct, which was a general statement. So we can use this trick to solve the questions which have extreme statements. Other than this, when it comes to science, we can select the option that all of the statement given above are correct. For example, there was a question in 2020 UPSC preliminary exam that with the present state of development, artificial intelligence can effectively do which one of the following? Statement 1 said bring down electricity consumption in industrial units. Statement 2 said create meaningful short stories and song. Statement 3 said disease diagnosis. Statement 4 said text to speech conversion. Statement 5 said wireless transmission of electrical energy. So artificial intelligence can have application in every field that one can think. So generally we can think like that if you are not sure about the options. So what I used to do, I used to select this option which said all of the above statements are correct. So there was one option D which said all of the statements are correct. So we can follow this trick. Other than this, there was one more question in 2020 examination, that which one of the following are the reasons factors for exposure to benzene pollution. The options given were automobile exhaust, tobacco smoke, wood burning, used varnished wooden furniture, used products made of polyurethane. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. So I have blindly gone with all of the above option in this question, and I think so it might be correct. Other than this, so we talked about 2 tricks: extreme statement and selecting all of the above in science and technology questions. Other than this, there are questions based on application of a particular technology. So they ask whether it is possible to apply this technology to this field or no. For example, the question asked was, consider the following statement, and the statements were: some species of turtles are herbivores. Second statement was some species of fish are herbivores. Third statement was some species of marine mammals are herbivores. Fourth statement was some species of snakes are viviparous. So it said some species in each statement. So I took it as correct. There might be one species which might fulfill this possibility. So I took every statement as correct, and I marked the D option which said all the statement above are correct. So we can follow these tricks when you are not confident about the options, or you have 50-50 confidence about any question, then you can go with tricks, because it's very difficult to come to it, the number 85, number of questions that you have attempted to 85 if you go only based on knowledge. So I would suggest to use some of this trick, but there is also a caution that it is not completely foolproof, but you can use this if you are not completely confident. Other than this, I would like to say that never ignore CSAT as a paper, because many aspirants have failed in CSAT. So what you can do is solve some previous year question papers of CSAT of UPSC and you can check your score. If your score is above 90, so there is no need to worry. You can practice CSAT for an hour daily in the last month. But if your score is below 80, you should start preparing CSAT from now itself. Every day you can devote an hour for CSAT preparation. So please don't ignore CSAT paper. Then next thing that I would like to talk is about exam, the D-Day, exam day. So that is the most important day for cracking the examination. Preparation is one aspect, and how you tackle the exam on that day is the other aspect, and that is the most important one. So UPSC exam, preliminary exam is all about psychology. You should be calm, composed and confident on that day. Have proper sleep on the night before examination. Reach the exam center on time. What I used to do, is I used to put my head on the bench and I have a nap for 10 to 15 minutes. So this made me calm and composed. All clutter that I had in my mind was washed off, and my mind was fresh and concentrated. So in this way, having more concentration, generally we avoid the silly mistake that generally are conducted by aspirant, and that it is also a major reason for your failure. So I would like to suggest that be calm, composed and confident on the exam day. Other than this, what I would like to speak about is try to score more in preliminary examination. Try to crack the Indian Forest Services cutoff, because I had cleared it for 4 times, but I had never attempted in the mains examination 3 times because I was more focused on civil services. The last year I gave the civil forest services mains examination, and after coming here for the training, I have realized that this is one of the best services.
Thank you, Vikram. Thank you for your inspirational words and the motivational words. I hope this will help the aspirants to prepare well for the exam. Thank you, Vikram. We'll see you in the next video. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you everyone. Thank you for watching the video. Kindly subscribe to my channel for the upcoming videos. Thank you everyone.